Frieza, in a power clash, completely destroys the god of destruction, Beerus. Vegeta, who is currently his closest student, senses that something is wrong and quickly teleports to Beerus' planet. Seeing his master lying on the ground unleashes in him a fury never seen before, and thus begins the greatest battle of the Saiyan Prince. He is facing a totally destructive power, capable of erasing even himself. Will he really surrender to this form and abandon the Vegeta, who is redirected to be someone better? Is this why Whis urged them both to train their minds, emphasizing its importance? Let's see what will happen to the Prince of the Saiyans. Stay tuned, folks. Speaking of the importance of mentality, I ask for your support. Keep this in mind and in action. Leave a like, subscribe, activate the notification bell, and let's get into another video on the channel. What is happening? Vegeta asked Whis. Whis replied, Frieza challenged Lord Beerus for the position of God of Destruction. Being very proud, Beerus accepted and said he wouldn't hold back against Frieza. Frieza immediately used his strongest transformation and said he had learned a lot from his years of training, claiming he could easily defeat a god of destruction. Despite this, he still respects Beerus and acknowledged his significant personal growth during his training in the hyperbolic time chamber. He announced a rise like never seen before for a mortal like him. This marks the beginning of the rise of the Emperor. Beerus retorted, You chose me as your first target, Frieza. I'll make you regret this and put an end to your plan right here. The great battle began, all narrated by Whis to Vegeta, who arrived at the peak of the fight. Everything seemed to be heading towards Frieza's defeat, but then he boosted his powers, claiming he hadn't shown everything yet. In this chaotic moment, Frieza delivered a fatal blow to Beerus, shocking Whis and consequently Vegeta. Vegeta entered a state of rage in his mind, overwhelmed by destructive power, akin to his mental battle against Babidi, but much worse this time. Whis created a sphere to contain Vegeta, as the power he was releasing could cause enormous chaos not just on Beerus' planet, but across the universe. Everything happened so fast. Frieza, Beerus, Whis, and Vegeta in this state. Vegeta began to recall moments up to that point, thinking of his loved ones, Kakarot, and the teachings he received, reflecting on his complete evolution. He didn't succumb to the evil. He controlled and embraced it, like a dragon tamer. He let out a huge roar, breaking Whis' barrier, revealing a new form, not Ultra Ego, but the God of Chaos. Whis recalled a brief conversation with Beerus, where Beerus said that among all his disciples and candidates for gods of destruction, Vegeta was the most promising. He had control over evil, having lived with it inside him for so long and allied with it, ensuring he would certainly master it and reach a new level. To find out how this story ends, stay until the end of the video and comment on who you think would win in a one-on-one fight between Frieza and Beerus. Years of rivalry were set aside. On one side, a completely vengeful being, still a child if we consider the age standard of his race, Frieza deconstructed a recurring theme in Dragon Ball for subsequent stories. The question arises, was it the 10 years of training in the hyperbolic time chamber that changed his personality, or what happened during the Tournament of Power that opened his mind? Frieza appeared with his enormous destructive power and words of change. What is his plan this time? It was clear he could have killed Goku and Vegeta, considering their state after a hard battle against Gas and the immense strength of Frieza's black form. How will the warriors overcome this? Will a fusion or a new form be necessary, or will mastering their current powers, Ultra Ego and Ultra Instinct, suffice? Or is this the scenario for Beerus Farewell, the god of destruction who has constantly aided their evolution, alongside Whis? I've seen this trope in other manga stories, the master's death for the student's growth or a loved one's loss. If Beerus were to die, who would suffer more? I would bet on Vegeta, whom Beerus sees as a potential successor. Everything happening seems to be building towards this outcome. How will it all conclude, and how will they act amidst this? Vegeta's pride is well known. Over time, this pride has become a unique source of power for the Saiyan Prince. This was evident during the Tournament of Power, where his Saiyan pride peaked, and he put Tokpo, a candidate for God of Destruction in his universe, in his place, proving he doesn't need to abandon his pride to become strong. Vegeta has always prioritized the master-student role, taking it seriously. He fought not only for his family during the Tournament of Power, but also for his beloved student Kaba, the Saiyan from Shampa's universe, Beerus' brother. If anyone messes with his students, they will suffer Vegeta's wrath. He has evolved greatly during and after Dragon Ball Super, where he first appeared as a terror to the Z fighters and later became one of them. In Dragon Ball Super, Vegeta's more familial side has always been highlighted. Mentally, he's at a high level but still has moments of fury, like when Beerus hit his beloved Bulma. "How dare you hit my Bulma," he said. For a brief moment, he surpassed Goku's Super Saiyan 3, the strongest transformation at that time. His loved ones and those around him now have a new protector, as he protected the Namekians from Moro's hands. He is now a character with incredible personal growth. Recapping the current events in the Granola Saga, Vegeta was lost with a mix of feelings and doubts in his heart, even wanting to give his life for the Saiyan sins. But everything turned out well in the end, thanks to the help of a legendary Saiyan from long ago, Bardock, Goku's father. This brought new hope for both. However, after all this, the terrible Emperor of the universe arrives to ruin their celebration. He easily defeated the enemy that Goku, Vegeta, and Granola struggled with. With this new form suddenly revealed, Frieza in total mastery showcases his new form, Black Frieza, characterized by an already evident darkness in this character, but with a completely different aura this time. After everything he experienced during the Tournament of Power and 10 long years of training in a hyperbolic time chamber on a conquered planet, he merely demonstrated his power to Goku and Vegeta and spared them, saying he had bigger plans and set aside his grudge against the Saiyans. Amidst all this, Whis noted a vast power emerging somewhere, possibly the warrior of the Oracle Fish prophecy. Taking all this into account, Vegeta and Beerus also deepened their bond as master and apprentice. This is how Vegeta discovered his new form, Ultra Ego. Ultra Ego is a powerful transformation. To achieve it, one must undergo training from a god of destruction. This form changes the user's ki to match that of a god of destruction, with power growing limitlessly through instinct as the fighting spirit increases. This power perfectly fits Vegeta, proud and representing the purest instinct of Saiyan pride. However, it still wasn't enough to take on Frieza. So, if Frieza's plan is to kill Beerus, there are two ways. The easier one, killing the Supreme Kai, and the harder one, fighting one-on-one. In the first scenario, Vegeta wouldn't be aware during the confrontation because, as we know, if the Kaishin dies, Beerus dies with him. The fury would be great, but it wouldn't be the same as an action. They are very different moments. In the second option, there would be a gigantic battle between the two. We know little about Beerus' full power. In the manga, he has more feats than in the anime, so we can base it on that, while he tanks the gods of destruction. But we don't know if that's his peak, nor do we know the extent of Frieza's power. Remember, Frieza has years of training and an evolutionary power greater than anyone presented in Dragon Ball so far. We saw this when he developed his Golden Frieza form in a short time. So, it's plausible to consider the scenario of Beerus' death in a one-on-one battle. However, there's still much to be done with these characters, I believe, for such a development. It would be a significant step in the story, as we don't know if it's possible to resurrect a god of destruction with the Dragon Balls, or if they go to the Makai world. They are divine beings but use destruction. That's my modest doubt. If all this happens before Vegeta's eyes, he certainly wouldn't stay quiet. He would risk everything and take his ultra ego to a new level. In terms of transformation, he achieved one that suits him perfectly and can still evolve it significantly, always increasing his spirit and control over the power of destruction. He already mastered a power that surpasses a Hawkeye in the Tournament of Power. The next level would be even more incredible. Thank you all for staying until the end of this video. As promised at the beginning, Vegeta, with his new transformation, full of chaotic energy, teleports before Frieza, who immediately claims he defeated a god of destruction at that moment. What could a mere Saiyan do to him? Vegeta responded with the punch he received on Granola's planet, and Frieza took a long time to recover. Frieza asked, "What is this power?" Vegeta closed his eyes, remembered Beerus, and unleashed a Hawkeye. We see Frieza inside, struggling to survive. Vegeta turns his back, and Frieza is engulfed by the destructive energy. Vegeta says, "I will fulfill my promise. I am the new god of destruction of Universe 7.